Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we're going to make this cute tray using the latest glitter pack from PDB Creative Studio. We have all the fall things: Fake Spooky, Obsessed, Latte, and Growth. This is another Target tray. I know they might not have them in stock, but it's about a 9-inch round tray, and it worked perfect for this quick project. You can literally get these trays anywhere. My favorite place to go is Hobby Lobby, but they also have them at Michael's, TJ Maxx, Marshall's, all the discount stores. They usually have some really nice, unique ones. So if you don't have these $5 trays at your local Target, then go to one of those places and you can really get a good deal on, honestly, a better quality than the dollar section Target ones. I've learned my lesson with painting a base. I always used to say, make sure you paint your base. It doesn't matter what color. You just want to take the sheen off of the stainless or get rid of that flat brown tone on your trays. So for this one, we are just going to paint the base this creamy beige color. The reason I picked this one is because we do have a tan latte color, and I don't want to take away from the lightness of that. All the other colors are going to show up darker, but I kind of went for this light color just so we don't mess up the primary color of latte. You can dry your paint up with a heat gun on low heat setting, or just allow it to sit and dry. I didn't worry about excellent coverage. Like I said, I just wanted a base to take that flat brown away. And we're going to go in with Southern Belle Glitter Full Glue. I love this glue because you can use it while it's wet, or you can use it while it's dry because it dries extremely tacky. So your glitter is going to stick to this regardless. It still dries pretty quick underneath as well if you use it as a wet adhesive. And in this case, I actually intended to dry it so we can go directly into spray sealing the tray, but I ended up using it while it was still wet, but really it doesn't matter. I just let it sit for a couple of hours so it could dry completely, flattened out my glitter, and then spray sealed it. So once we get a nice even coat of this on the tray, we're going to take all of our glitters and just go in random spots. The way that I blend them out whenever I'm doing spots like this instead of a specific ombre is I will kind of fan the glitter out lightly, and then I'll go back in the center of it and kind of tap the glitter bottle to get heavier coverage right in the middle of our glitter blob. And that helps blend it into the other colors as I add them on. If this glue would have been dry when I used it, I would have went ahead and flattened it out. But since I used it while it was wet, I gave it 2 hours to dry. Then I'm going to come back in, flatten the glitter out using a sheet of paper, and then I will knock off the excess, take it outside, and spray seal it with Rust-Oleum Matte Clear Coat. Once my spray sealing was dry, then I'm going to go in with a little extra incorporated turbo epoxy. This is about 80 milliliters, and I have mixed it really fast because I have no patience. After I put it on the tray, I'm going to take my heat gun and heat the epoxy up just a little bit. That helps it flow and level itself out a little bit quicker since we do have a larger surface than working with a tumbler. It also helps get it in all of those grooves nice and even all around the edges, and then we'll take our torch, do a quick sweep over top, and it will eliminate all of those bubbles I created while I was mixing. While that is curing, we're going to head on over to Design Space and import Ellie's Crafty Company Starburst design. I like this file because it comes with 3 different styles. All you have to do is right click and separate those files so that you can choose the one that you like the best. And this one I believe is actually for a 20-ounce tumbler, but it doesn't matter. All you have to do is resize it to the dimensions of the tumbler that you're working with or whatever project you're working on. I wanted to make it just a hair bigger than what our tray was. Our tray is about 9.1 inches. I'm going to resize this to 9.25 so I can kind of guide myself on putting it in the center of my tray. I could have attached a circle on top of it to cut it perfect, but in my experience, I always cut it just a hair too short, and I just didn't want to chance that. So I left it as a square, resized it to 9.25, and cut it on temporary removable vinyl. Once we have this weeded, I'm going to put my transfer tape over top, center it up on my tray, and flatten it out. Once we have our stencil on, we're going to go back in with more Southern Belle Glitter full glue and go all over the tray with a nice smooth and even coat. Once we have dried our full glue using the low heat setting on our heat gun, I'm going to go in with Celestial Night from Southern Belle. I tried not to think too much about it because I would have stared at this for very long picking the section that I wanted to use. I just unrolled it and slapped it onto the tray. My biggest concern was getting it to lay flat so the design is consistent and it doesn't have any breaks in it. So I made sure that it was flat right in the center, kind of pulled a little tight over top of it, and then we're going to go in with our squeegee tool, flatten it all out in all the areas, and then go right up against all of those vinyl stencils so it gets in the creases. Once I felt I had it adhere pretty good, I'm going to pull off that vinyl, leaving our pretty design. And then if I see any areas that I didn't get, I'm just going to go in with the scrap piece of foil on the end and fill those areas in. There's one glitter that we didn't use on the bottom of the tray, and that is Fake Spooky. Since it was the darkest of the color, I wanted to add it on top of our fools. So once again, we're going in with that full glue. I'm just putting very light coverage splotches in areas. I'm not being any particular about it. I'm just putting the glue on here, trying not to add too much and not too little. Now, rather than sealing with Rust-Oleum Matte Clear Coat, we tested out the Color Shot Pixie Dust, and y'all, it looked so good. You may not be able to see it in the camera, but in person, it has a beautiful rainbow shimmer to it, and I avoided having to add any micas or pigments into my epoxy in that final coat, and it just looks like it's part of the Fools. It's so pretty. Now, once that has dried, actually it wasn't dry when I started removing my stencils. I was a little impatient and just wanted to hurry and get this one done. But I started removing all of those pieces of vinyl, revealing the glitter underneath. Now, to make this easier on us, I'm just going to use some striping tape from PDB Creative Studio. I love this stuff and I don't use it near enough. It has been a very long time since I used this in a tutorial, but it is so much easier than having to cut all of these lines in Design Space or by hand. Another great thing about the striping tape is it's super sticky and it is very thin. So when I did a tumbler very similar to this using the same starburst design, I had to trim out the center where my vinyl was overlapping because it got super thick. Using this striping tape, it still had a little bit of a bubble in the middle of it, but it was nowhere near what the vinyl was whenever I used it to do the same design. We're going to finish this off with another pretty thick layer of a little extra incorporated epoxy. I mixed another 80 milliliters, put that on here because I wanted it to cover that lump in the middle completely. Like I said, it wasn't very high, but I did add a little bit of extra epoxy on this one than I typically would on such a small tray. I spun it around to get the epoxy to go all around the edges really even, and this was done. I definitely could have added a pretty decal in the center, but I did want to show you how it looked using that striping tape. I really like the way that it turned out. If you want to know how to get your hands on a discounted glitter pack, these are released once a month. All of those juicy details will be down below, as well as all of the materials I used and some discount codes. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.